Alright, y'all, man, it's your boy Humble at least 2 times, you feel me? Excuse me, back here in that video, man, for me. Follow on Instagram at Humble at least 2 times. Now, look, as y'all can see by today's topic, we're going to be talking about Avatar 3 Fire and Ash Part 5. Right, now look, for today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to the Most High in general for everything, for giving me these amazing downloads, dropping this amazing good information on me, you feel me, no cap, etc. I'm also giving a huge shout out to myself as well for wanting to receive this good information and give out this good information as well. I'm also giving a huge shout out to everyone and to y'all. Y'all literally take energy out of y'all's day to come rock with me, show me love and support, you feel me? And I appreciate y'all, man, deeply, man. You know, for real, we've been going crazy with the Avatar videos. Bro, on TikTok, if y'all don't know, I made a new account. It's Humble Ali 2 times on TikTok because TikTok took my other account. I had 2,000 and something followers, close to 3,000 followers, but they took the account. Basically, what that channel was, I was literally just taking clips from my YouTube videos and posting them on there, and then sometimes I would go live, right? But, so I made a new account. It's Humble Ali 2 times. It's the same thing. I take clips from this page on YouTube and I put them on there, and one of my videos actually went viral, getting over like 20,000 views or something. So that might not be viral to a lot of people, but it's viral to me, you know what I'm saying? And it's good that people are waking up more, because you know, us, the spiritual community, it can be hard sometimes for our videos to really get pushed out there because the media don't really want to, like, you know what I'm saying? The media is for like stupid stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? So when we come on these platforms and we speak in real esoteric information, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of spiritual videos that have went viral, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it can be very hard for our videos to really get pushed out there, you know what I'm saying, because of what we're speaking about, etc. You know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate all the love, though, and the support, etc. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to hit over 1,000 subscribers. Ashe. I'm sending good positive energy, good positive protection, good positive healing towards everyone, always deeply. Also, if you want to buy my ebook, you can. It's $10.90. Now let's go ahead and get more deeper to the video. Also, spoilers, if you have not seen the Avatar movie, Avatar 3, or any of the movies, then you might want to click off this video now, because there are going to be spoilers in this video. And let's go ahead and get more deeper into it. So look, right, Avatar 3, right, Fire and Ash Part 4, right. My bad, y'all, for the long intro, by the way. But look, right, so boom. Excuse me. So boom, right, my bad, y'all, still under the weather. So look, right, let's break down Avatar, right? So like James Cameron is obviously the creator of these movies / documentaries, right? But what is James Cameron trying to tell us in these documentaries / movies, right? The characters could have been any color. Why the color blue? Why the color green? Why introduce the fire tribe / the air tribe now? What is going on in these movies / documentaries? What is the main message? What is he trying to tell us? Right now, how the way James Cameron set up these movies / documentaries, it really can look like it's being told in multiple different ways from the different eyes' perspective. What this basically means is that James Cameron has set these movies / documentaries up in a way where it can look like it's meaning multiple different things, right? But in reality, it's really meaning these things over here. But James Cameron, how the way he produces it and writes it and directs it, it makes it seem like it's all these different things, but in reality, it's really just these things over here. So let's go deeper. With these movies and these documentaries, all three of it's been 3 Avatar movies / documentaries to come out so far. Avatar 1, Avatar Way of Water, Avatar Fire and Ash that we recently got a few days ago, right? And the thing is that James Cameron is trying to tell us in these movies is, he's trying to tell us what happened a long time ago on this planet. See, when James Cameron is talking and representing and talking about Pandora, he's not talking about some random place on the moon. He's actually talking about right here on this planet. See, this planet that we call Earth, this is actually Pandora, right? See, way back in the day, our planet used to really light up, and it still can, right? Now, I know it might be hard for a lot of you to really accept that and be like, what? This is Pandora? So this whole time I've been trying to Man, I wish because a lot of people, when they watch Avatar, they go into like a low vibrational depressed state because they want to be in Pandora. But in reality, you're already in Pandora. You're just in a 2025 version of Pandora. This is Pandora, right? What they, especially if you look at Avatar 1, right? If you look at Avatar 1, they show you how like the planet, it was glowing and stuff at night, etc. Our planet really used to look like that, similar to that, right, etc., right? Now with James Cameron, right? When James Cameron is speaking and talking about Pandora, he's really referencing this planet right here, right? Now, why do I say this? Because our planet used to be a lot more colorful, it used to be a lot more glowful, it used to be a lot more bigger, right? Our trees used to be a lot more bigger, right? If you pay attention to the first movie, in all three of the movies, they spit a lot of game, but they really spit a lot of game in that first movie, right? Now, if you look at the first Avatar movie, what do they show you? They show the trees getting destroyed, right? And why do they show you this? Because they're putting the truth. This is what we call putting the truth in plain sight. If you go look up and look at all of these mountains, these are actually our ancient great trees that they actually blew up and destroyed literally, and they covered it up as mountains because they don't want us to question our reality. Because if we start questioning the mountains and we find out that they're trees and we find out how big these trees are, now we have to answer more of their questions. Well, if the trees were this big, were we that big? Why would y'all cut down the trees? What was so good about the trees, right? This is why a lot of people in today's society aren't woke or don't really feel that deep connection with their ancestors. One of the reasons why is because y'all blown up our trees. We had trees linked and connected to our ancestors, spirit guides, etc., and they blew up a lot of our ancient trees, right? So this is another reason too why it feels why it feels very hard for a lot of us to connect with our ancestors, right? You see what I'm saying? Because we had it where it was a lot more easier. In other words, maybe not so easier, but we had it to where it was a lot more smoother back in the day to tap in with our ancestors, right? You simply connect to the tree or, etc., meditation, dances, yogas, etc., exercises, etc. But in today's society, they have blown up our trees. So in the movie Avatar 1, James Cameron is clearly showing you how we are peaceful beings. They came onto our planet unannounced. We found them on and it's imperative to pay attention. When Jake and his crew came on their planet, they didn't ask, hey, can you guys teach us your ways? Natiri caught Jake on her planet, and then Jake was telling Natiri and her family, like, hey, I'm here to learn, right? It's not like they was coming to them. No, Jake and his people was coming on the planet to, experiment, get research, get data, etc., and go back to, the lab place or whatever, right? But Natiri stumbled across Jake, right, and took Jake in, etc., right? And Natiri was actually going to transcend Jake until the ancestors / Awa told her not to, so she obviously did not, right? Now, the thing is, right, look, right? Now, with Avatar 2, right, let's talk about Avatar 2. Avatar 2, Way of Water, right? See, in Avatar 2, Way of Water, we get introduced to the water tribe, the Mekaina tribe, right? Notice their colors. They are green. They are green, right? They are obviously a part of, the Navi, you know what I'm saying? But they are different tribe, different, beings, but they're all family, all related. All of the clans on Pandora are related, right? They might look different. They might wear different things. They might hunt differently, but they're all connected and they're all family, even the water tribe, even the Mekaina tribe, etc., right? Now, if you look at the water tribe, they somewhat represent the sirens / mermaids / goddesses and gods, right? Now, why am I saying this, right? With the green water people, right? Notice how they are able to go underwater. They can live underwater if they choose to, but they can also live on ground as well. And notice how they are green. Notice how they have tails. Notice how their tails are. Notice how their fangs are, etc., right? They represent the sirens. You can go look up the sirens. You can go look up mermaids. These things exist. These things are real, right? You see what I'm saying? Especially mermaids. Mermaids are very good with their throat chakra energy. They're very good at singing. You think singers are good, you should hear a mermaid. Mermaids are very good at lingering and attracting people into the ocean. No lie. A lot of people have transcended because they got lingered in by the voice of a mermaid. Literally, a mermaid can manipulate their voice and make it seem like they're a human in the water asking for help. I'm telling you this now. Mermaids are very, 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 very conscious, very, very aware. Same thing with the sirens, etc., etc., etc. So these green people, right, the Mecana tribe, they represent the sirens slash goddesses and gods, right? They represent the sirens, goddesses and gods slash mermaids, etc., right? Represent the water tribe, in other words, just clear it all up, right? Now let's get more into the more recent movie, right? Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. We get represented into the fire tribe, like we've already discussed and breaking down before. The fire tribe represents certain black people back in the day who started to give up on the ancestors, started to give up on the universe. In other words, started to give up on Iwa, right? After, multiple times of slavery, getting beat, getting hung, etc. A lot of us started to fall into frequency more and more and more. We started to shrink. We started to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And a lot of us started to give up on ourselves and on each other, etc. Right? Right? If y'all don't know by now, I say this with all due respect, of course, not trying to be mean, but I don't really do that well in the cold, right? I obviously can deal with the cold, but my body does a lot better in the hot, a lot better, right? I can obviously be in the cold. My body can deal and adapt to the cold, don't get me wrong, but my body definitely prefers the hot for sure. Now look, right? So like I said, right, with the fire tribe, they represent, us black people, certain of our black people who, started to fall in frequency a lot, started to lose faith in Iwa, universe, whatever you want to call it, right, etc., right? So in these 3 movies, so far, James Cameron has came out with 3 Avatar movies / documentary. Avatar 1, Avatar Way of Water, and Avatar Fire and Ash. But what is he trying to tell us in all 3 of these movies / documentaries? What James Cameron is trying to tell us is he's trying to tell us that Pandora is actually right here on planet Earth. He's trying to tell us that this planet used to be a lot more joyful, a lot more playful, a lot more colorful, right? But then a man decided to destroy that. We had a lot of big, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trees that we used to connect to. And then Avatar 1, they show you how we would get downloads and get information from the trees, and how we would do rituals and do dances to transfer the consciousnesses into the other avatar, like they show what they did with Grace. They was doing a ritual where they were all planting and giving energy and putting it into the tree, literally, as you've seen in Avatar 1, to try to help Grace's avatar / her soul, consciousness, spirit, energy, whatever you want to call it, fully transfer into the Na'vi avatar. And they did the same ritual as well with Jake Sully, right? Now, what James Cameron is trying to tell us with these 3 movies is he wants people to know the truth, but he's doing it in a mysterious, trickster-like way. You have to really pay close attention to these 3 movies / documentaries to really get the main message, to really get the key points. If not, you're going to miss it, right? You have to watch these movies with your third eye pretty wide open. If not, you are going to miss it. A lot of people thought the first Avatar movie was just about, oh, this guy was on a mission, he fell in love with some blue alien, now he's a part of the tribe, now he fights against them, they win, end of the story. How beautiful, right? But in reality, like I said earlier in the video, James Cameron, how the way he produces and pushes out these movies / documentaries, it can seem like something that it's not, right? That wasn't at all what really happened. Yes, he did fall in love, but yes, he was on a mission. Yes, he did fall in love, but it goes a lot more deeper than that. You have to really look at the real picture, not the picture that they tried to show you to cover up the real picture, right? So the main message that James Cameron is trying to tell us in these movies is there's more to life than you think it is. Pandora is actually this planet right now. This is Pandora. Mother Nature, Mother Kai, Mother Earth, that's actually Awa in a different name, right? And they're also telling us in these movies that black people are God. Yes, indigenous people, South Sudan people, African people, Native American, anybody who is black, they're telling you in these movies that we are gods. They're telling us that we used to be a lot taller. They're telling us we used to be a lot quicker. They're telling us that we used to age a lot slower. They're telling us that we used to not really have to eat a whole lot. They're telling us that we used to be multiple different colors. We used to be blue, green, etc. Do not be too surprised in Avatar 4 if we see a new clan and they're orange or purple or a mix of green and blue, right? We came in many different color shapes. Why do you think back in the day in slavery, etc., why do you think they used to call black people colored folks? Because we really were multiple different colors, right? Also, in the movie, they're showing you how our ancestors had a very deep connection to Awa. In other words, nature, the insects, the animals, etc. Notice how long our ether was. The longer our ether got, the stronger we got, the more of a deeper connection we got to Awa and to ourselves and to the people around us, right? This is what James Cameron message he's pushing, right? And don't get me wrong, he's pushing a lot of different messages with an S, right? But one of the main messages that he is pushing with these documentary / movies is he's telling you who black people really are, and he's telling you how black people fell in frequency. He's also telling you how black people got tortured and got a lot of stuff taken from them, and how he's telling you how we shouldn't have trusted so many of these hybrids and these other races so comfortably. We shouldn't have got so comfortable with them, and they're explaining it and showing it in these movies, etc., right? And also it's a lot of other messages as well, but those are some of the main messages. Also, James Cameron is telling you in these movies quietly, but also loudly, that cloning is real. Taking somebody's consciousness and putting it into another avatar is real. He's telling you that one of the original names for your body is not body, it's actually an avatar. Why do you think the name of these movies are called Avatar? Because the main purpose of these movies is called conscious transfer, which is basically where you take somebody's consciousness or take their soul and put it into another avatar, which a lot of us have been brainwashed to call it as a body, but in reality it's actually an avatar, etc., right? And he's also teaching you that when your hair is very, very long, it can help you connect to Awa a lot better. If you notice, all the Navi, all the people, all the blue people, even if they had like the side balded or whatever, everybody had some type of ether on their head. In other words, they had some type of hair on their head, which obviously helped them connect to Iwa, etc. If they didn't have that hair on their head, they wouldn't be able to connect to the dragons and fly the dragons. They're telling you that your hair is a lot more powerful than you think. And also in the first movie, they showed Jake running out. He just hopped in his avatar for the first time. He runs outside. He's out of control a little bit, right? Excited, right? And then he goes in the dirt. His shoes are off, no socks on, and he feels this relief of positive energy. They show you in the first movie too, grounding. Notice when Jake ran outside and his feet touched the ground, he felt really good, right? Because he was grounding. He didn't even realize what was truly going on, but he was naturally grounding, was naturally connecting to Awa already. As soon as Jake hopped into his avatar, he already was connecting with Awa, whether if you realize it or not, right? But I might make some more parts on this, but it's a lot of stuff to decode, and it's a lot of stuff to break down. But look, man, I love y'all, man. It's much more to love, always deeply. I catch y'all for Muslim on the next one, man. Peace.